So hello and welcome to Con Smash, and today I want to talk about the 3 ways The Last of Us Part 2 can redeem itself post the leaks. So I posted a video last week where I said the 3 reasons why I'm going to buy the game, and I had a mix of different responses. Some where people agreed and others where people got aggressive. So I thought it's a good idea for us to revisit this topic and talk more about the spoilers and the specific reasons around why I think the story will redeem itself. Before we get into it, if you're not going to buy the game and you do want to see what happens, I'll be playing the game on this channel, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss that. So number 1, Dina and Ellie's relationship dynamic. We all saw Dina and Ellie and their embrace in that trailer all that time ago, and I think their bond and chemistry is going to bring a light to this game that's much needed. Similar to Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone in the Amazing Spider-Man series, I think we will enjoy whenever they share the screen together and how they progress through the game. Add to this the introduction of other new characters like Jesse and the old characters like Joel and Tommy, as well as the inevitable new characters we meet along the way. I think Ellie's journey will be filled with interesting encounters that bring genuine chemistry to the screen and make this more than just a video game. Number 2, now we're getting into real spoiler territory, stepping into Abby's shoes. Now I know this topic has had the most hate. Basically, Abby is the daughter of the surgeon that Joel killed at the end of Last of Us 1, and she comes back for revenge and kills Joel in The Last of Us 2. Albeit with a bloody golf club. But more of the horror from the fans after that was the fact we will actually play a portion of the game as Abby. Now I was vexed when I heard this, but with time and reflection, I'm quite excited to see what we get. Now, I'm going to paint a picture for you. Imagine The Last of Us 1. Imagine if the tables were turned and we saw David and his perspective of Joel and Ellie. To him, they were butchers who killed his friends and family at the labs. Now, we all know he was a bad guy, of course, but imagine if they could make us empathize with him and really understand the pain he went through, which they did briefly touch upon, but was massively overshadowed by his menace instead. Now imagine them doing this before we see what happens with Abby, and we see how her life has led her to that point. Maybe this will represent the feeling of loss more so than anything else. Imagine Joel dead, and now you have to play as this character. Inevitably we will hate this, and Naughty Dog has built it with that in mind. But imagine as we progress, if we begin to relate to her and see her pain and feel her emotions. Not only will we be forced to play with the killer of Joel and come face to face with what's happened, but we could also actually end up empathizing with her. This could then end up being the masterstroke that this game sorely needs. Lastly, I don't think we'll be playing as her for half the game, like people say, like the leaks have said. I think that's just an exaggeration, and I actually think it'll be more 20-30%, maybe a little bit longer than what we played with Ellie in The Last of Us 1. Now number 3, my final point, Ellie cannot die. If she does, fine. I concede, alright? But she can't die. And let's get the facts straight. This hasn't been confirmed, and I think if it was true, this would have been the headline news rather than Joel's death. Come on, we all knew Joel was going to die as much as we didn't want him to. So now, picture us playing through the game with Ellie, and about 60% of the way through, something happens and we switch to Abby. We then see the world through the eyes of the antagonist, and we begin to understand there is no black and white. We begin to understand and feel the repercussions of vengeance and how there are no winners in the game of death. And I think the bond with Abby will be built more so using the other new characters as well, like Lev and Yoru, who we've seen very little of. Remember, Abby's journey starts with pain, and it's likely we will truly learn the depths of this whilst we play as her. Then once we've empathized with Abby, we enter that final act as we transition back to Ellie, where we get ready for the final showdown. But now, when it comes to this battle, we'll be able to appreciate each side of the story and really feel the emotion when it comes to Ellie finally killing Abby in the end of the game. And yes, that's what I think will happen. Imagine getting that feeling of being at home and trust when we get to play as Ellie again. Imagine the feeling of redemption for the death of Joel, and then potential sadness and mourning as we witness Ellie massacre Abby and end her pain once and for all. Of course, these are just my thoughts and how I think the game will turn out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and let me know if you'll be buying the game at release. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you really like the video and are interested in watching me play through The Last of Us Part 2 when it's released, make sure you hit the subscribe button. On that note, I'm out of here. See ya!